All right, we're live. Hollywoke Hot Take live. Hello, welcome to the live stream. I almost forgot myself. What's going on here? Alex, have a preemptive like. I have other plans for this weekend, but I hope you'll dissect the Carl's Jr. Bikini Burger ad. My version would have Sydney Sweeney and a warm rain shower. Nice. Ardent, unusual time? Oh no, this podcast is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. What he means is Old Testament Mr. Mayor, real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling, 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifices, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, man. And Stormy is here. Hey, Tony, have a great show. Hello. Hi, Stormy. Hi, Ardent. Hi, everyone. And welcome to the live stream. Hi, Joan. Joan's a little mad because we didn't go for WALK. That's later. Indie Phantom is here. Bikini Burger time for sure. All right, let's pull the commercial up. I was watching Sargon of Akkad, but we can look at a burger bikini. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Bikini commercial. There it is. Is that it? Carl's Jr. and Hardee's? That doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like the one I saw. That's a different one. It's a different bikini burger thing. Ardent, I'm so glad I made it in time to catch you read those quotes from Ghostbusters. Indie Phantom, I will watch the Super Bowl on Tubi. Sargon rules. Yes, he does. Is this it? Oh, that's a bikini one too. There's a lot of bikini. This is the new one, I think. No, that's not it. That's somebody's thing. This one? No, that's people talking about it. It might not be on. Is it not on YouTube? Maybe it's not on YouTube yet. Let's see. Carl's Jr. We used to have a Carl's Jr. near me, but not anymore. Is this it? More American burger? Oh, there's a bikini girl in it. They got lots of bikini girl. This one, maybe? Yeah, this is it. This is it here. Let me get that. I gotta put off the sound. So yeah, this is it. This is that's her, right? That's the new bikini girl. Some dude. She looks good. Who is this chick? I don't know who this chick is. I don't know if I like that burger, quite frankly. Ardent, Super Bowl tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to a Super Bowl party. I don't really care about the Super Bowl. I mean, the Eagles are in it, but I'm not very invested in sports ball, as you all know. But I am invested in food and my girlfriend, so I'm going. Indie Phantom, they did years of those ads. Type 2025. Yeah, apparently they did. So, good on Carl's Jr. There's a burger. Yeah. You might catch it out of the corner of your eye. But ironically, to get a body like that, you can't eat those burgers. So there you go. I kid, Carl's Jr. I kid. I kind of wanted to go to Carl's Jr. when it was here, but now it's not here anymore. Indie Phantom, this chick rarely eats, let alone burgers. Ardent. Who are the Eagles playing? I might watch it too. The Chiefs, right? The Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're called. You know, it's Taylor Swift is dating one of the team players or his brother or something. So I think the Eagles are going to win. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing for me. Because if they lose, I think my girlfriend may cry. they win, I think she wants to go to the Eagles parade, which sounds like it's going to be a disaster already. Indy Phantom never had a Carl's Jr. Ardent Travis Kelsey. Yes, I think that's it. Indy Phantom Trump in attendance and has an interview. Oh, that'll be interesting. We'll see how the crowd at my Super Bowl party reacts to that. But yeah, there should be lots of food tomorrow. So I'm a big fan of food. And Super Bowl food is my kind of food. Because it's, it's everything. It's delicious. It's snacky. You could just eat it constantly. You just constantly stuff your face. Nobody's going to say anything. It's a good holiday. Solid holiday. Like Thanksgiving. Only you get to eat the entire time. Nobody keeps track of you eating in Super Bowl. In Thanksgiving, it's like, are you done? Are you done eating? Can we go watch football now? No. In the Super Bowl, people are concentrating on the game. You can eat whatever the hell you want. Good stuff. And people, it's the kind of thing like people like to have a big party and have way too much food. That was like an indigenous people thing. Like I think they called it the potlatch. And they would throw these elaborate parties, and then the idea was to be too generous, like to see how generous you can be. And then somebody else would throw a potlatch, and they would be even more generous, and that was the competition. It's kind of like a Super Bowl party, I think. So, Indy Phantom, I love that part of bowl. Fried food, yes. Yes, I actually tried to eat healthier this week in preparation for the Super Bowl festivities because I wanted to feel like, I can treat myself as opposed to all the crap I normally eat. So I took a break from eating potato chips this week. Ardent, yeah, potlatch was a competitive feast ritual. Yes. And I sometimes confuse that with counting coup, which is a different thing. It's a different thing. That's like giving your enemy a little whack on the head and then running away. So you kind of embarrass him, but you don't kill him. Yeah. So the Super Bowl is happening tomorrow. It's happening late. It feels very late. It doesn't start till 6, which is why I decided to do the stream today. I could have done the stream. My girlfriend was like, why don't you just do the stream earlier? And I thought, that was kind of a good idea, but it might snow tomorrow. And there's this older couple that I sometimes help. So I want to be kind of available to do that. And even my folks, if that my folks would never ask for help. They would have to be like frozen in 10 feet of snow for me to even find out. But because they're very self-sufficient. They don't. I'll call them and I'll say, "Are you okay over there?" And they'll be like, "Oh, we're fine." House could be on fire. People could be bashing down the door. They'd be like, "Oh, we're fine. Don't bother yourself." Parents. So yeah, I wanted to have time. I didn't want to be committed to doing a live stream, and plus I wanted to do it in the evening. The evening's a good time for a live stream. Kind of relax, kind of woke up. If I do it early, I won't be awake. I haven't had like 40 gallons of iced tea, and that's good. That's good. It's good when it's fresh. I clean my pot. I clean my pot, and it tastes a lot better. It's good. Yeah, the weather here is kind of crappy. It might be crappy for the game, too. It might be raining and cold. That's to the advantage of the Eagles, I think. I don't know if the Kansas City people are used to playing in the cold. I guess they would be. They're in the Midwest. They're not like in Southern California or anything like the 49ers or something. So might get some snow in the field. But anyhow, so we're going to do the live stream like we normally do. We're going to look at box office, but we don't have numbers from the entire weekend. We just have Friday's numbers, so we're going to have to extrapolate as best we can from that. So here are the Friday numbers. So some of this will probably change by Sunday, but maybe not that much. I think the 1 and 2 movies are possibly likely to change. So the number 1 movie, Ardent says, we have a blizzard warning. Always a chance Philly will get hit too. Yeah, it's not going to be a blizzard down here, but we are going to get some weather. So Heart Eyes, this is a slasher movie about a killer who has a mask with heart eyes. Like, why don't they just call this Logo the movie, or Logo slasher movie, Logo the movie or something? I mean, it's so stupid now. Everybody who does one of these slasher movies is like, oh, we have to have a good costume for the killer. We have to give it a good, iconic costume so we could repeat it over and over again and make toys, I guess. So, yeah. So Heart Eyes is that movie. See if they have a picture. Yeah, there he is. See, that's his heart eyes. Because, you know, when you're a screwed up serial killer, the first thing you want to do is sit down and make a costume. Doesn't make any sense to me, but reminds me of the kid who made he made a serial killer comic book about a high school serial killer. Indie Phantom, Valentine Slasher. Yeah. He made a serial killer comic book about a high school serial killer. And I was like, well, who's the hero? And he's like, there's no hero. It's about the killer. I go, yeah, but so he just kills people? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a great comic. That sounds awful. I think you messed up. So 3.7 million for Friday. It's not too bad. Not too bad. We'll see how it does for the weekend. Probably clock in around, let's see, if it did 3.75 on Friday, probably crack 10 million maybe. But right behind it is Dogman, dropping from the number 1 slot. This could very well overtake it. It's separated by less than 500,000. So we'll see, because it's Super Bowl weekend. You're going to have people who, the dads will go watch the Super Bowl, and the moms will go take the kids to see Dogman, just to get them out of the house while dad has his buddies over or whatever, right? LeMay is here. Hi, LeMay. Ardent, LOL, I'd make the slasher the most unassuming, least likely person. Same as a spy movie. A slightly chubby, kind of nerdy, needy-looking guy would be the best choice for a spy. Doesn't draw attention. Oh, I've been corrected. The Super Bowl is in New Orleans, so I guess it's going to be warm there. So maybe the Philly team will be at a disadvantage because it'll be hot. Indie Phantom, I will take a serial killer costume over a superhero with cape all day. I am still trolling the Fantastic Four costumes. They look ridiculous. The Fantastic Four, it's really one of the greatest comics ever if you read the Kirby run, and it's something that may be impossible to duplicate in another medium. There, I said it. Kirby was the king. Ardent, nerdy, autocorrect. Oh. Indie Phantom, Dogman looks ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but it's a kids' movie. It's fun. A cop and his dog get into a car accident, and then they sew the dog's head on the man's body, and that's how you get Dogman. So, completely ignoring the ethical implications of that, or how the Dogman would be able to act like a human at all, because it would have a dog's brain. But Kids like it. It's pretty popular amongst the kiddies. So you might get some families that split up like that. Mom takes the kids to see Dogman. Dad stays to watch the Super Bowl, and the rest of the movie's got nobody. Indie Phantom, damn, that is whack. It's not fly at all. Next up, number 3 at 2.6 million, Love Hurts. Which one was this? Love Hurts. Is this another slasher movie? I'm almost sure it is. Love Hurts. I think I saw the trailer for this. Here it is. Love Hurts. Oh, no. This is Short Round. Short Round. Speaking of whack, LeMay, like Dino Cop from Axe Cop. Yeah, it reminds me of that kind of concept. So Love Hurts, a realtor is pulled back into the life he left behind after his former partner in crime resurfaces with an ominous message. With his crime lord brother also on his trail, he must confront his past and the history he never fully buried. So it's kind of like the old hitman movie trope, but instead of being a hitman, he's like some kind of super criminal. Guess that's kind of like a hitman type movie, and then he's gone good, and now his brother comes to ruin his life, and he's got good moves. I gotta say, Short Round, he's got some moves, but I don't know. It seems kind of wrong for his personality. Seems a little too dark for him. That he was a former, criminal killer kind of guy. But at least they gave him something. I like to see. I mean, you got guys like Short Round and what's his name, Rorschach. I forget his name. Earl Haley. Oh God, I can't think of his name. These guys were big stars when they were kids, or they were in a big movie when they were kids, and then they stayed in the business, but you didn't really see them much. Indie Phantom, I am not a fan of the Short Round actor, one of the annoying Oscar winners like Roberto Benigni. Well, you think the Oscars were annoying in previous years. Wait till you see what happens this year. Holy cow. Amelia Perez looks like it's... I bet you they give it a ton of Oscars anyway. They probably don't give it Best Actress because of what the lead person did. Indie Phantom, Jackie Earl Haley, that's it, was a lame Freddy. Yeah, but he's a good Rorschach. I thought he was a good Rorschach. He was also great in The Human Target, if you've never seen that show. He kind of stole that show. But yeah, he didn't get to do much until more recently, the last 10 years or so. Suddenly he's back, and then Short Round's back too. It's like Hollywood can't help but repeat themselves. It's not, and I think they're okay as actors. It's like, but I think Hollywood's just repeating everything. I didn't see the remake. They should never remake most movies. Indie Phantom, Amelia Perez sucked all the Oscar buzz out of the room. Sure did. Because it's like everybody in Hollywood has to pretend to like it. And now they don't even know what to do. Am I allowed to like the movie? Am I supposed to like it now? I don't know. They can't help themselves. The virtue signaling is really gross. They want to be compassionate, but they think by making a gesture of compassion that doesn't actually mean anything, that's enough. It's not. It's just annoying. Indie Phantom, only movie they are talking about. In their defense, there's nothing much to talk about, but my God, the clip of that movie is so bad. I've never seen anything that bad and that ridiculous. Zoe Saldana, what was she thinking? Really? She honestly think that was good? I find it hard to believe. I gotta think the moment she got off the set, she was like, what the hell did I just do? Or even before that. You know, it looks like a movie that's a parody. It's a total parody of itself. It looks like a movie that they put in a comedy movie about a movie that they're making that they shouldn't be making, and it's a big satire of Hollywood. It should be. Indie Phantom. Also, now if it doesn't win, they still have to mention it 13 times, and will seem weird if it doesn't win. Zoe will win. Probably, yeah. I mean, they can't give it to the lead, I don't think, now. Either that, or they're hoping everybody forgets about it, and then they'll just turn on a dime. Oh, excuse me. Indie Phantom. She is the fave for supporting. For what? For what? I mean, you should give her an award for going along with it, maybe. But my God, it's so completely awful. I've never seen a clip of a movie so completely awful than the one from Amelia Perez. From beginning to every frame of it is like, what are you doing? This can't be real. It's like people in Hollywood got together and said, wait, let's do this. And then we'll keep telling them it's good. No matter what they say, we'll tell them it's the most awesome movie ever. That's what it feels like. It feels like a practical joke on the entire movie industry. And maybe it is. Maybe it's the Chinese running this game. I wouldn't be surprised. Indie Phantom. I want to sabotage the Oscars and have Amelia win Best Actress. Oh, I so want them to give her Best Actress. I really do. Just to let Hollywood completely collapse and let the Oscars completely collapse. No one would ever watch the Oscars again, I believe. If they still give it to Amelia Perez, lead, for Best Actress, that's it. It's over. It's completely over and done. It's done. It's done. But I think now it's not going to happen, because I feel like they can't, because they created this set of canceling rules and they kind of can't. They have to weigh their options, right? If they give Amelia Perez the Oscar for Best Actress, their credibility's gone, and they might as well just close up shop, because now they can't cancel anybody for saying racist tweets. But if they don't give it to her, they can say, well, it's an honor to be nominated, right? And who knows? Maybe they never intended to give it to the transgender actress. Maybe they just intended to give the nomination and then maybe next year give it to a transgender actress or something. Indie Phantom. There were other scandals. Another actress did blackface. I completely missed that. Which actress did blackface? I will call them transphobic if he loses actress. oh, how great would it be if Ricky Gervais hosted this Oscars? Oh my God, it would just be amazing. He would have so many great jokes. Or maybe he'll troll it again on X. That would be great. Jesus. It looms like a dark cloud over them, says Indie Phantom. It sure does. Like, why? At that point, just close Hollywood. If you give that to Amelia, if you give Amelia Perez Best Actress, just close Hollywood at that point. And I think, again, I keep saying this, and I think I'll be proven right years from now. The Chinese Communist Party wants to take over movies, or at least enough of them that they have more influence over the culture worldwide. And I think this is part of the deal. They're grinding away at anything that Hollywood does. They're pushing woke behind the scenes. Again, I point you to the article 1.1 million spies in the West. I think that's an underestimate. But Indy Phantom, the foreign actress from I'm Not There, did blackface. She should date Justin Trudeau. Then they'd have something in common. So, yeah, I think the Chinese are pushing this behind the scenes as hard as they can. Because if they can't control Hollywood, they need it weakened enough that they can control the movie industry just enough. And with their insane box office numbers, they already have a great deal of influence. The problem for them is communists don't make good movies, but they're getting better every day. I think they can only get so good, but people here sometimes are very, very stupid. So you shake enough bells and whistles on the screen, you might get a few hits here coming out of communist China. But, they might reach the point where at the very least their markets are self-sufficient enough that they could just say no to any movie that Hollywood produces. In the old days, they would never turn down a movie because if they were showing it, it was worldwide, it was popular, and you could not make anything like it in China or anywhere else. Now everybody's making movies. Indy Phantom. Nobody does better blackface than Trudeau. His costumes are fire. It's true. It's true. And it's amazing to me, to this day, that the Liberals in Canada would elect a man who did blackface so many times. He can't remember how many times he did it. That's utterly insane and hypocritical. I mean, it's beyond hypocrisy. It's some other level of hypocrisy we've never seen. But imagine the mental disconnect you have to have as a Canadian liberal, a woke Canadian liberal who screams about all sorts of crazy liberal issues, but still votes for Justin Trudeau, a man who's done blackface multiple times, and late enough that he was a full-grown adult. Like, a couple of times he was a kid, and you could totally forgive that to a large extent. He's a kid, he doesn't know what he's doing. But when you see the later one, when he's dressed as some kind of genie and he's got blackface, right? Like, it's not even good blackface. It's like he's got it all over his face, like in a circle, like around here. Oh, I think that's the one that always comes up when I search Trudeau blackface. Don't ban me. Don't ban me, YouTube. This is the Prime Minister of Canada. Yeah, like, oh no, this one, no, he doesn't have it around his. I mean, look at him. He's a full-grown man in that picture. He's not a kid. He's not a kid. Look at that. I mean, he's a young guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a young guy. He's goofing around. He's having fun. But my God, you have those values as a liberal. You're bashing everybody else but your own people. Doesn't make any sense. Indy Phantom. Canadian shitlibs are everywhere. Trudeau will work in the circus soon. As what? The geek? Trudeau's bad. So bad. Number 4 is Companion. This is it's a movie starring Dennis Quaid's son, who's an up-and-coming leading man. Seems to be in a lot of movies. But in this one, he plays kind of the sick guy who, I think he kidnaps this girl and turns her into his like personal sex slave and or she likes it. I can't tell. It might be like the secretary, like she's okay with it. Some weird fetish movie where he bosses her around and she does all sorts of horrible things. This came out. Oh, this was out a while. Yeah, this is out a while, but still did $1 million on Friday. I'm always surprised when a movie cracks $1 million these days. Mufasa, The Lion King, still cracked $1 million. It's been out for 50 days. 50 days. Speaking of days, one of them days also cracked $1 million. That I might catch on streaming. It's looks all right. Indie Phantom, chick and companion is pretty hot. Thinks she is a robot like AI stuff. Oh, she's a robot. Oh, he builds a robot and then does horrible things to it. Weird. Like that Megan Fox movie. Megan Fox, who normally kind of acts like a robot, and then there's a movie where she is a robot, and I didn't believe she was a robot. At least in the clips I saw. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 does $405,000. A Complete Unknown, $400,000. That's been out for 45 days. It's been out that long? Doesn't seem that long. Moana 2, been out 73 days. Still doing some business. The Brutalist, the 3.5-hour movie, $370,000. How long's that been out? That's been out for 50 days too. Wicked has been out 78 days, did $160,000. Nosferatu, 45 days, $95,000. Finally going out of theaters. Wolfman, 22 days, going out of theaters, did not do well. Cracked 20 million though. This movie make its money back? Did 33. Nah, I don't think 33 is enough, but maybe. Doubtful 33 is enough for a Wolfman movie. Brave the Dark from Angel Studios. Indie Phantom. Some of these movies kind of bombed. Yeah, a lot of them did, I think. Complete Unknown. Did that bomb? What's that at? No, that didn't bomb. I don't think so. 88 million. And it costs... No budget. I don't know. Complete Unknown couldn't have cost that much. It is a period piece, but... after Brave the Dark, you got Baby Girl, that Nicole Kidman sex movie, going out of theaters, $37,000. September 5th, another version of Munich, $34,000. Conclave finally leaving theaters at 106 days, $10K, and A Real Pain, $6K. 99 days? Really? It's been that long in theaters? Holy crap. So it's 14 million for a Friday. Last weekend I checked, Friday was 25 million. So not great. Not great. I mean, the total Friday hauls could probably going to be somewhere. I think you can count on Saturday usually being about double Friday. But it's a little tough to say with the Super Bowl what Sunday will bring. So, I don't know. I think you're looking at you want to multiply basically these numbers probably almost by 3, maybe a little short of that. But we'll see. We'll see. Not great though. I mean, again, it's February. This is where they dump movies. You know. Moana has been out for 73 days, so that's like 2 months. Yeah, a lot of this is just coasting on Christmas. That and Wicked. And even Sonic, almost. When did Sonic come out? 50 days. That would have been, yeah, that would have been Christmas. So you got a lot of Christmas movies just coasting on the Christmas box office. And what they're going to release now is, bleh. I mean, you might as well, if you have a movie that's even halfway decent, you want to try to drag your feet until March. But, you know, if you got something that's a little shaky, that you think might break out with no competition, you dump it in February and hope for the best. It's worked a couple of times, but, you know, I've seen a lot of trailers recently, and there's a handful of things that look decent, but it doesn't seem like a lot of them get the distribution they should. If things were a little more, shall we say, equitable in Hollywood, if more movies got distribution, I think they'd find that there's a bunch of gems out there that could make some real money. Like, one of the things they should probably do with like the Fathom network they have is open it up, broadly speaking, to some of these new movies that normally don't get distribution, and just give it to them. Give them some standard deal. Let the movie run for like 2 weeks. See how it does. Because you've got a situation where, and I think we've all seen this, if you go to the movie theater and you've got a place that has, like in my area, most of the places have screens upwards of 12, 14, something like that, 16. And invariably, those theaters double up on the bigger movies, which makes sense if you got a hit movie. But a lot of times those movies aren't the big hits they thought they would be. So you've got, say, I don't know, like a movie like Mufasa, probably played on 2 screens in the beginning, but now there's no point in having it on 2 screens. They should, at some point, take the second showing down, go back to just 1 showing of it, and consolidate, and then use that extra screen to run movies that normally don't get distribution. And just run them for 2 weeks. If one of them takes off, you could always extend the run, move it into another theater, drop a movie that's not doing too well, and then put that in it. And there's so much content coming out. You know, I was just looking at Amazon. We were looking for movies to watch last night, or the night before, and or no, it was last night. So I was a little surprised how many movies I didn't recognize. Now, often they make these movies and they just kind of, they used to say they go direct to video, but now they go direct to streaming, and there's just even more of them. And a lot of them are crap. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them are really crap. Crap movies. Nobody wants to see these movies. They're worse than hotel movies. They're just, you just look at them and go, what? I just looked at one the other day. I mean, it is brutal. It's called, oh God, The Stress is Killing Me. That's the name of the movie. And I hate to harp on this movie, but to me, as a guy who's written comedy all his life, to watch just the basic tenets of comedy get completely ignored, not broken, but completely ignored, it's just brutal to watch. It's a brutal trailer. I can't imagine watching the movie. Oh, that must be torture to watch that movie. And somebody thought it was funny. Someone somewhere said, "Oh, this is funny. Let's make this." And we're talking like the basic comedy pieces were just not there, in my view. So it would have been like making a zombie movie where there's no zombies. Somebody saying, "Hey, there's no zombies in this thing. You're billing this as a zombie movie." And they're like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be scary. It'll feel like a zombie movie. Yeah, but you have no zombies in it, like none. So, anyhow, let's move on to some of the trades. Let's look at Fandom Pulse. Fandom Pulse is becoming a little more Christian national every day. So a little scary sometimes. I mean, I don't know where this outlet's going to be, say, 5 years from now. I hope it's not going to go too far in the other direction. But here you got Melanie Mack. Savage's Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2 developers adding underage gay grooming scene. All provision leads to this. I mean, I can't help but to agree that this is the dumbest move in the history of moves in video games. Just dumb. No one wants this game. There's no audience for it. And that to me is the real argument. It'd be different if there was an audience for this. If there were, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people clamoring for a gay video game. People complaining on YouTube. You know what's missing from video games? Not enough gay stuff. But there's just not. Like, everybody's complaining the exact opposite. Why is there gay things in my video game at all? Why is there any sex in the video games? Like, before it was a joke, right? They put it in GTA because it was a joke. There was a joke that the protagonist, who's a total sleazebag, who steals cars and commits crimes, is also having sex with prostitutes. That went with the theme of the video game. He was committing a crime by having sex with a prostitute. And you didn't see it. It was just he gets into the car and then you hear, and the car's bouncing up and down. It's a joke. It's a joke. Now it's like, oh, they must want lots of sex in their video games. No one said that. Everybody involved with this game should be fired. But that's not even the amazing part. The amazing part are the people who worked on this game who defend it, specifically the gay sex in it. It's weird, man. Like, I get it. You worked at some company. They told you to do certain things. You have a mortgage and a family, and you just said, all right, I'll go along. But, like, what's the excuse of the guy, like, he's on YouTube or whatever defending this game? Like, oh, my God, the bigots. Why don't the bigots enjoy their gay sex video games? LeMay, for Kingdom Come, a rich gay group gave the creator a bunch of money. Really? And they said, make a gay video game? Who is the rich gay group? Is there really rich gay groups running around going, we got to make this gay? Let's see. What can we make gay today? I don't know. How about candy? No, we already made candy pretty gay. It's kind of gay to begin with. It's a lot of pink in candy. What else could we make gay? Oh, we got to pick something manly so we can make gay. What about football? I don't know. It's going to be tough now, but we could try. Who is this gay rich group? It's weird. But I guess if that's what you want to spend your gay investment money on, you can imagine that conversation. Didn't you used to be rich? Yeah. Got involved with some other gay guys. We kept investing in things that make stuff gay. Kept losing our money, our gay money. LeMay, yes, Embracer Group. Oh. So they're full of gay guys, huh? Weird. I wonder how that came around. Was it a gay investment group? All right, we're starting an investment group, but you need to be gay. Oh, damn it. I'm not gay. But can I be in the group anyway? No, only gay guys. Indie Phantom, wasn't there gay sex in the Spider-Man game? Also, we now know that the Deep State wasted money on Gamergate. Yes, that is true. Zebek's Demise is here. Hola. I don't know about the Spider-Man game. I don't think I remember hearing that. I knew there was a lot of odd stuff. Like, they made Mary Jane's face really ugly and manly. And there was also another Spider-Man game which for some reason focused on characters that weren't Spider-Man, like anybody gave a damn. I think there was a scene where she spray paints a wall or something. Indie Phantom, Melania Mack kind of looks like a walking contradiction. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. I can't tell if she's a red flag or not. She kind of feels like a red flag to me. Or maybe she's just doing this for her YouTube channel, because that's kind of her YouTube channel. Very, very anti-woke, you would say, I guess. So, and then she says the F word for gay people a lot. That's like her trademark deal. She's constantly dropping that. It's gotten old really fast, but that's part of her shtick. So, Indie Phantom, there were gay references in Spider-Man. Also, the new series looks woke. Well, that is really woke. I mean, the new series for Spider-Man is like off the charts. They have to create a new metric for woke to rate this one, because Peter Parker looks to be like the only white character in it. Just about every character around him has been race swapped and gender swapped in some way. So the Osborns are now black. Harry might be a trans woman. Not sure. Nobody can really tell me for sure. They race swapped and gender swapped Doc Connors, the Lizard, and it's just all pretty woke-tarded. Indie Phantom, I think MM is a red flag for dating for sure. Board game designer Phil Eklund deported from Sweden for possible political reasons. It's weird. Why would the Swedes deport people for political reasons? Considering what's going on in their country now, that seems odd. It seems super odd. LeMay, Melanie Mack is a walking contradiction. Indie Phantom, she went a bit harder and think Melanie limited her online contacts. Indie Phantom, yeah, LeMay for sure. All right, let's go over to this link here for more headlines. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 creative director Danielle Varva addresses child sodomy scene. That's in the game? That's crazy if that's true. That's not gay. That's just wrong, if that's true. No thank you. Oh, here it is here. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 features graphic depiction of child sodomy? This can't be true. Is it? Well, why should I know I shouldn't say that because of everything that's happened over the last few years, but I can't help but have that reaction. It's been discovered one of the individuals in question is a teenager. Well, is he 18 or is he 16? I mean, or 14? I mean, there's a huge difference. But who knows? It is the Middle Ages. But, like, why is this in a game at all? I don't know. Will someone flag this down? I don't know. Just seems like it's not going to do any business. You know? Just seems like, who would play this game? Who would buy it? And go, oh, gay scenes. Can't wait. I mean, anybody who would buy this, I have to imagine, knowing video gamers like I know them, if they bought a game like this, consciously or not, they would get to that scene and they would just make fun of it. they would somehow, I don't know, cut it in such a weird way it was a meme, I guess, but it just sounds gross. Indie fandom is shocked. LeMay, an Islamic critic, was shot dead in Sweden recently. Ooh. Well, that's no bueno. Maybe it's good they deported him. Yeah, that's just wacky. Don't buy this game, I would say. Rumor: Rocksteady developing single-player Batman game after Suicide Kill the Justice League failure. Yeah, I'm sure people will get right into that after you killed Batman. Don't again. It's like, what are the meetings like? I just can't imagine the meeting. Okay, I've got this scene for Batman, and it's going to be a game where we kill him. And it's going to be emasculating, and we're going to kill all the main characters, and there's going to be some gay stuff in it. You know, all the things kids like. Well, is there no people in the room to go, that sounds like a terrible idea? You should not be pitching any ideas ever again. That idea is so terrible. What's the meme? We are stupider. Everyone in this room is stupider for hearing it. Like, is there no one in the room who even suggests stopping these people and just saying no? Like, who is like, oh yeah, kids love this. Teenagers love to see their characters emasculated. Well, everybody keeps making the games. It has to be some of this behind the scenes nonsense with ESG and now maybe USAID too. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Some NGO is like, you got a video game company, maybe it's failing, and they come to you and say, listen, we'll give you the loan to keep your business afloat for the next 5 years, but you have to make a horrible video game, one that everybody hates, and then you're going to have to defend it and double down, like, until we tell you to stop. That's the only explanation I can think of at this point why it happens. That the money must be so good behind the scenes, even if they sell like a third of what they project, they're still going to make out okay. Like, they'll still have a company at the end of it, or maybe they're taking a chance. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would buy these games now. I wouldn't trust a single video game coming out until I saw a review of it to know for sure it didn't have any woke crap in it, and then I would consider it. Like, I wouldn't even put it on the list of games to potential buy. Like that Deliverance game, it could be great all the way through it, except for those two apparently very gay scenes, possibly illegal. And I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. So I don't know what these people are doing. I really don't. SFWA and other literary organizations issue statement attacking Donald Trump's executive order decreeing there are two genders. What? Indie Phantom, it is whack. LeMay, old fans who loved the first game for their historic accuracy and gameplay. Then they added in the sex and black Islamic doctor, etc. Some fans were mad at the creator, told them to F off. Yeah, I would be kind of mad too. I mean, if I followed your work and then you suddenly take a 180-degree turn, I'd just be like, what the hell are you doing? Sam Rogers, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sam. Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Fantasy Writers Association and Horror Writers Association. Like, there's only one explanation for this. Like, book publishing went completely woke, and now the awards are going woke. And it's a lot of woke women. 90% of it is woke women. There's some woke men, but not many. Those guys don't survive very long, woke or not. But the women who have taken over this with their utterly insane mental concepts need to be purged or gatekeeped out of the new organizations. Now, I'm not a fan of the Christian nationalism nonsense, but I am a fan of telling people to F off who come to you like, oh, there's not enough women in your group. Out. Out. Just get out. Yes, but there's not enough women. Well, now there's one fewer. Get out. Like, who is the SFWA to even issue a statement about the president? This is how insane people have become over Donald Trump. They can't look at his stuff as a policy. They have to look at everything like a crusade that is a personal attack against them. It's not. It's not a personal attack against you because someone disagrees with you and the way you want to save the world. And let me tell you something. People have been trying to save the world a long time, and a lot of people think they have the answer. Well, if you had the answer, the world would already be saved. And newsflash, there's no saving, quote unquote, the world. The world is not going to die, and at the same time, it's not going to be saved. It'll always be somewhere in the middle, and the best you can hope for is to mitigate a lot of the damage that people do to themselves and other people. That's it. And when that's on the upswing and most people are comfortable and fed, that's about the best you can hope for. You'll never eradicate it all. There'll always be some people who just have the worst luck imaginable, and people who are just so effed up and screwed up you can't help them. They hurt themselves. They're on a downward slope. You're never going to save them. You have to save the people you can save and be happy with that. But, you know, this came from the right, and now it's here from the left. Only the left is way more degenerate about it, I have to say. LeMay, I only know about this because I watch a YouTuber who does fanfic rants, and he was one of the fans the creator told him to F off. He already bought the game, so he is going to play it. Yeah, well. Indie Phantom, women voting, world ending. LeMay, he said they improved the gameplay and graphics. I don't think he got to the sex scene yet. Just weird. It's just weird. You know, I wrote a line in Wokistan, a novel. So I have this character named Professor Papadopoulos, and he's an older gay guy. And he remembers the days when gays were persecuted and whatnot. But he says, you know, talking about the woke people, he'd rather go back to the old days because at least the people persecuting him then had a set of values. The problem with the left is they have no real values other than to unravel everything. So, like, this is just straight up narcissism when you're talking about a science fiction and fantasy writers association making statements against the president of the United States because they feel that they're so important that they have to make this statement, and somehow that statement will make a difference in anything. It will make a difference in nothing. It has nothing to do with science fiction and fantasy. It has everything to do with the people making this statement wanting to feel good about themselves. So this is the problem. And it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. I don't know how to address it exactly, but it has to be addressed. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to end up in a lot of arguments and a lot of lawsuits and a lot of nasty fights. Because the people who have this mindset that I have to stop Donald Trump and I have to use my power are at the same time sitting home, uh, stuffing their faces with ho-hos, watching television. It's not a real resistance. They are LARPing as the resistance. I just watched this movie, Plan A. It took place after the big war with the bad guys from Germany. And they portray people, coming out of a real occupation, like a real occupation where like so many people died, it's just insane. These people don't have any concept of oppression. They think anybody that disagrees with them is an oppression and that they should be allowed to do anything they want. Look at these two women in the thumbnail. They are heavy-set women who don't have, in my view, any self-control that they're doing this. No self-control whatsoever. They haven't the slightest clue, I think, of what discipline or self-reliance means. And that's coming from me. And I thought I was soft. I'm pretty soft, but Jesus, not as soft as some of these woke people. They're just beyond soft. And they shouldn't have any power. They just can't have any power. None. They shouldn't be in charge of a book club, much less a science fiction fantasy writers association. They can't be allowed to have power. They just can't. They can't handle it. Everything becomes about them. Everything. It becomes nothing about their virtue signaling and them. They have to be never elected to any kind of public office, never given any power. Just let them go home. Indie Phantom, crazy cat people, yes. God of War creator David Jaffe seemingly admits he's a woke activist. See, it's not all women. There are some guys, but it tends not to be guys. Because most guys can't really function in the woke dynamic. They just can't. Because eventually they just get henpecked into oblivion. But, some guys can. Apparently. Elon Musk obliterates journalists tied to U.S. aid after Doge staffer resigns. He's coming back, by the way. That would be his avatar name is Big Balls. So he got canceled, and now I think just to spite all the Democrats complaining about him, Elon's bringing him back. So, yeah. It's just like, it's kind of like we're waiting for the woke people to realize, oh yeah, everybody makes mistakes, and you can't cancel people over nonsense, and really have to pick the best people for the job. Oh, we're just waiting for those woke people to come up to that conclusion. But a lot of them can't. I think a lot of them are mentally ill. I really do. They act like mentally ill people when they get into these positions of power. That Trump just fired, oh God, what was she? I can't think of what position she holds in the government. I think something in the Treasury. And Trump fired her, and she's announced she won't leave. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Like, oh, you work for the president. The president just fired you. No, he didn't. Well, he did, because he's the president, and you work in the bureaucracy, and he can fire you. No, he can't. Like, they had to actually take one of the women he fired physically out of her office. That's crazy that it had to come to that. There are just no adults working in Washington sometimes. LeMay, they try to, and then they get outed for being chuds. Now, that's not working anymore, I don't think. Deadpool co-creator Rob Liefeld quits Marvel after saying Kevin Feige does not treat comic creators well. I feel like there's more to this story, but I can't quite figure it out. I like Liefeld. He's a really nice guy. I've said before. I met him in person. I don't like his comics, but he's very personable, very nice guy. Um, so, but I'm not sure what this is about. This feels like, I don't know, maybe a deal went south that he had going, and now he's kind of upset about it. I don't know. He does have other characters in the Marvel U that haven't been made in the movies, I think. I'm trying to think of their names. It all came out during that period that just sort of blurs together. Like, Liefeld was at Marvel, and the next thing you know, he was at Image, and he was creating the same damn characters there. So, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to sell his characters to Marvel or something? I don't know. I say, though, Rob, whether you intended to or not, this is probably the good move. Get away from Marvel. Get far away. I think if your characters have any hope of being made in the movies, I think you want to be as far away from Disney as possible when they're made. Indie Phantom, when I look on Facebook, most people I know from the past think they need to stock up on food because Trump is starting World War III. And these are Canadian libtards. When I look on Facebook, I see people spouting their politics completely unsolicited now. Like, there was a time when people would say political stuff on Facebook, and it would kind of go back and forth. And yeah, there would be fights, but it was a bit of back and forth. Like, there was some wiggle room there to have a discussion. It usually descended into anarchy, but at least initially you would have some exchange of information. Now it's people will post something almost daring people to say anything. And God forbid you do. You really just stepped into it. And then, then everybody just starts unfriending you, and there's a lot of shouting. I don't engage at all anymore on Facebook. There's too many older boomers with, I think, politics that are very staid. I think and it's not that they're stupid people. The problem is they're still watching television and reading newspapers. Still. After all this time. I mean, the idea that you could get any new information from a newspaper is insane to me. But it is equally insane now for television. Television is even worse because, like newspapers, they don't even care about the people reading, I don't think. I think they're so checked out. They're just reprinting stuff. And if they make a mistake, you'll just never hear it addressed. In the old days, if they made a mistake in the newspaper, people would write a letter, and they would correct it the next day. These days, I don't think they would bother. Everything's sort of cut and pasted from the internet from 3 days ago anyway. But with television, they're still savvy enough to pretend like, oh yeah, we're important. And so the people still in that sort of TV news bubble still think the information is valid. And when I point out to them, no, you really got to go to the internet, and they go, oh, I go to the internet. I have my news app, and I have my CNN news app, and I'm just like, that's the same news. You can't say that you're getting news off the internet if you just go to the internet and look at CNN's headlines. I mean, CNN's the worst, in my view. It's one of the worst news sources you could possibly use now. Total regime supporting, and they'll support any regime that's in power. They're starting to warm up to Donald Trump now because they know, well, he's not going away, so we might as well be sort of nice to him. It's not journalism. So anything connected to cable TV news, I mean, it's pointless to even look at. Pointless. You have to understand the players, as Scott Adams says. If you know the players, then you kind of know the story. If you don't understand the players, it doesn't matter what the story is. It's all noise. It's all propaganda now. Um, Jesse SDF is here. Salutations from Trinidad. Ooh, Trinidad. What time is it there? Jesse? What time is it in Trinidad? I don't even know. Gonna guess. Let's see. What is it now? 8 p.m. now. Trinidad is what way on the globe? I don't know. It might be morning in Trinidad, right? Where the hell is Trinidad? I don't even know. Can't even think. Is it near, like, the Philippines? You're a new, I think you're my first chat person from Trinidad. It's 9:12 p.m. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. So Trinidad must be, so it's like less than an hour ahead. Indie Phantom, Democrat convention was hilarious last week. Fiasco. And David Hogg, are you out of your minds? Oh, I know. Ardent, he's only half hour west of me, Tony. Oh. Huh. Trinidad. Oh, okay. So that must be like in the, it's like near the Caribbean. It's in the Caribbean then. Ardent, Caribbean. Thank you. So that you're in pirate country. Nice. Yeah, let's just briefly talk about the Dem convention. They all agreed that Kamala Harris lost because of misogyny and racism. Yeah, it had nothing to do with the fact she did nothing for 4 years. Was made the border czar and wouldn't have visited the border. Made the AI czar and probably doesn't know what AI means. No. It was racism and misogyny. For sure. For sure. Literally everybody on stage raised their hand and said that. What a bunch of conformist idiots. So then they had to elect their new DNC chair and vice chair. And of course, they're very woke and they're talking about, oh, we need people of color and women and people of color and women and people who are in the LGBTQ community. And they elected 2 straight white guys. So, and they couldn't be more boring and weak looking. So David Hogg was the one guy they elected. Ardent, LOL, Yar. Ardent welcomes you, Jesse. So they couldn't have elected a more weak-willed looking soy boy than David Hogg, who's very anti-gun and very skinny and does very poorly on X. Just does very poorly. Gets absolutely roasted every time he opens his mouth. Is total cringe. And yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to elect him at all as your vice chair. He does not relate to young people. He is young, but there are plenty of young people that just because they're young doesn't mean they're tapped into the zeitgeist. And he is clearly immune to the zeitgeist. I mean, he wouldn't know the zeitgeist if he got punched in the face by the zeitgeist. Indie Phantom, a black woman sang. That's true. Hogg is a legit guy. Legit in the fact that he's actually a Democrat. Jesse, literally right about Venezuela. You can see Venezuela if you reach the end of my country. Oh, neat. Neat. Yeah, stay out of that town. Venezuela, not in great shape these days. Jesse, I wish we had the Orange Man as president. We have a problem with Venezuelan aliens. Oh, yeah, we did up until about 18 days ago. Now they're all going home. I hope Orange Man can help you. Yes, Orange Man, good. Indie Phantom, love when Dems make idiot decisions. Yeah, it's kind of funny to watch them just flounder like this. I mean, I can't think of a worse person than David Hogg to appeal to young people. I mean, he's got no riz whatsoever, as they say, as the kids say. He's got no riz. He's rizless. Uh, Indie Phantom. Hog is made of soy and crack. He's so skinny. He's so skinny. Yeah, everybody I think who is in the DNC right now essentially will be gone within 3 or 4 years. Either there will be a new party, and these guys are the transition into the actual populist who will eventually take over, because these guys will be even worse and double down even harder on the woke. Or the entire party collapses and they become like a fringe party, and then a new party arises. I think a new party should arise for people who are actually progressive and left. You know, like a thinking man's Democratic Party. But that would take years and work, and I'm not sure anybody... See, like, everybody in the Democratic Party is kind of used to winning. They haven't really taken the lesson in yet. You'd think they would. You think they would look at this and go, oh, we lost to Trump. Oh, but Trump will be gone in 4 years, and then we'll be back. No, you won't. No, you won't. And that's when J.D. Vance gets elected president in 2028, that's when the Democratic Party will be forced. Because by that time, they're going to be broke. They're going to be broke. Half their donor base will be dead or gone. People like Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, some of these others, half of them will be dead of old age. That's when they'll finally, maybe the deep state will cut them loose, and they won't care what they do, and they might try to get their mojo back. But I think it would be smarter for real progressives to get together, form a new party, and start over. But the danger is that the deep state will just roll in and take the whole thing over. Jesse, probably not going to happen. Our government is really stupid. We went into a state of emergency after 600 people had to die last year. 600 people had to die last year. How did they die? Was that a disaster that I'm forgetting about? Ardent at Indie Phantom, crack is harder than hog. Indie Phantom, I love talk of Kamala running again. I don't think that's real. I really don't. Indie Phantom, I think that was a 12-year loss for Dems. It wasn't a real loss, though, because, well, they controlled the bureaucracy. I mean, they were still running things, even when a Republican was in, because they controlled the money. USAID had all these tendrils out there, and now they're all being cut off, and now they're in a panic. Jesse, murder crime is up. Sorry for the grammar. I'm playing a game. No worries. Oh, okay. 600 people. Trinidad's pretty small. That sounds like a lot of people for Trinidad. Marvel's Armor Wars series no longer a top priority at studio, says producer. Yeah, I don't think it was going anywhere. Don Cheadle is not a good war machine, in my view. He's too wimpy. He's just too wimpy for the role. Terrence Howard can play a hard ass. He can play a military guy. Should have kept him in the role. Jonathan Majors would have made a decent war machine. He's built. Don Cheadle's a skinny guy. It's just the wrong role for him. I just don't see him in that role. I really don't. Who else could he play in the Marvel Universe? Don Cheadle? He would have been okay as... He could have been Falcon. He probably could have been Falcon if he's still in shape. I think he is. He could have been in one of the roles in the Black Panther movie. Um, who else could he have been? I mean, I'm sure they could have found a role for him somewhere. Indie Phantom, who can replace Kamala? Pete Buttigieg is probably the obvious answer, but I don't think they're going to run him. Um, Gavin Newsom, I think, is mostly done now, but they might try to run him. I mean, he's had scandals before and he's overcome them. You got Amy Klobuchar. They might just run somebody to run her. You got AOC, I think, might be eligible coming up. I think she might hit 40 and then run. It'd probably be not a chance in hell, but why not? She's got name recognition. You got to give her that. I mean, I think a bunch of people will run. I'm not sure who's going to raise the money, though. That's the question. Jesse, Trinidad has about 1 million people. So, yeah, 600 seems like a lot. What do you want, Joan? I mean, out of 1 million. That would be like 300 times 600 here. So that would be like... Yeah, that would be like 18,000 people dying here. Right? Am I doing that math right? Be 4 zeros? No, it'd be like 180,000 people. I think. Yeah, 300 times 600. If I'm doing that math correctly. Don Cheadle is woke as F, says Indie Phantom. He is. War Machine would have been played better by Black Dynamite dude. He would have been okay. Michael Jai White? Yeah. I think he has to get back in fighting form for it, but I think he gained a little weight, but yeah. Ardent, what's her name from Michigan? Witchmere? Gretchen Whitmer, the Wicked Witch of Michigan. She could run. She would lose. I think everybody would hate her. You got Tim Walz. He could make a run at it. He could be on the stage. That's about it. I don't think he would poll very well. Indie Phantom, they should run Rachel Madcow. They should run Keith Oberon. Ardent, Michael Jai White is awesome. He's pretty good. I like him in movies. He can't seem to find his movie. I mean, he was in the Spawn movie. It wasn't really his movie, though, because his face is covered up for most of it, but I think he needs to find a movie character really suits him, and he really kind of hasn't. LeMay, Elizabeth Warren, I don't think so, but she could make another run out of it, I guess. Josh Shapiro's probably top of the list, but there's all sorts of problems with running him within the party. Ardent, LOL, the mental image of Tim Walsh trying to make a run at anything makes me smile. Ardent, I covered Black Dynamite last Monday. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Josh Shapiro would be their best candidate, but they have a huge problem because there's so many more anti-Semites in the party now, and in the lower ranks of the extreme left. Until the Democrats make a real push to purge the extreme left out of their party, that's going to be a real problem for a nomination. They're going to have a real problem because the party leaders might decide, well, you know, we need to appeal to people who support Palestine and blah, 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 so we can't nominate a Jewish person. I mean, that's basically what they already did to him for VP. But they actually did him a favor when you think about it, because now if he comes back and runs for president, he can say, yeah, my party was full of a bunch of morons who, you know, and I kicked them all out or something like that. I think they would do themselves a favor if they did that. Ardent, he would have made an amazing Blade? Maybe. I still say Wesley Snipes can do it, but I mean, I told you my pitch. Do one last Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, and at the end of the movie, he falls into a giant vat of like blood or something, and then crawls out, and he's all regenerated, and then you make the next actor take over Blade, and it's like the same guy, it's the same character, and that way you can keep the whole immortal aspect of Blade, kinda. I think that would be cool. Indie Phantom, will the new Captain America make more or less than the Flash? Less. I could say that. The new Flash, or the new new Flash, the new Captain America movie looks like it doesn't stand a chance. It sounds like it's got everything going against it. So you got first the fact that this is going to be the first Captain America movie without Chris Evans. That's number one. That's a big factor, but you could have mitigated it, but I don't think Disney did. That's one. Number two, you got the TV show, which kind of ruined, to some extent, wokeified the character way too much. You know, the character you might have said was a little woke in the beginning, but not really. Falcon was always a black guy. He was in the Avengers, and everybody liked him, and it was fine. So it was natural fit that Falcon would take over as Cap if you were going to get rid of Cap. So it works. But then when you did Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you made a bunch of woke episodes, you kind of ruined the character. And now you're making a movie, and Cap is nowhere to be seen. Like, if the movie was about, like, this is the way I would have done it. If you had to make a black Captain America movie, right? Let's say you're going to make a black Captain America movie. And that has to be the deal. What I would have done is I would have said the movie would have been about Falcon saving Cap from being assassinated or whatever. Or maybe the Cap gets frozen again or something. And then Falcon has to go back and save him. And that's the plot of the movie. And at the end of the movie, he saves Cap and gives him back his shield. And then they go back to being Captain America and the Falcon. And the fans would love that. And then you do another Chris Evans movie. But and I would have seen a Falcon movie. Straight up Falcon movie. They could have just made a Falcon movie. Would have been fine. But no. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Jai White is cool, but kind of in the B-movie niche. Ardent, where did you cover it? I believe on his channel. Ardent at Indie Phantom. Probably more. Marvel is bigger mark than DC, and they didn't have any of the Ezra Miller baggage to deal with at Indie Fandom on Rumble, says Ardent. Ardent, if Tony's cool with it, I'll link it. Yeah, go ahead and link it. Jesse, I haven't seen a Marvel movie since Endgame. That's a perfect place to end it. Don't end your streak. LeMay, any promising young Democrats? They only got the squad, and they are terrible. No, not a single one. I tell you who was promising was Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard was very promising. Even I liked Tulsi Gabbard when she first came onto the scene. She was the only Democrat to help Trump in the first term. I was like, okay, this is reaching across the aisle. I like this. And almost immediately she was demonized and driven out of the party. So that shows you where the Democrats are. Anybody who doesn't just fall in line, out you go. So, okay. You got no one. They got no bench. So, Josh Shapiro could make a run if they bother to push for him. I kind of think there'll be so much pushback. Either Shapiro will look at it and go, well, I don't want this. This is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, and at the end of it, I will rule over a party that will be barely in my corner. So, or the party will just say, no, we're not going to deal with that. We don't want to deal with the Gaza issue. So, Josh Shapiro would be the guy. He's a moderate, mostly, when it comes to Democrats today anyway. I mean, I'm not saying I would vote for him, but he's the best guy they got that has any kind of name. But I don't think they're going to nominate him. I mean, I think he'll explore the option. He'll look into it. And then I think the likely thing is they'll say, Josh, we can't make this work. And they'll go with, the next best option would be to go with a Barack Obama type. Someone no one's ever heard of. He's been in office for like a year. He has no scandals. He's well-spoken. He's got his act together. And they'll just push him like nobody's business. But the problem will be this, and this is a problem right now the Democrats are dealing with. The Democrats are used to having a media machine behind them that touts everything they do as 100% right. And anybody who opposes it as a bigot and a racist and a transphobe and blah, 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 blah. That is crumbling beneath them. And they still haven't gotten the message. They keep doing these performative stunts that blow up in their faces. So I would expect that they will try to run the campaign just like they did this year and blow it up again. That would be my expectations. Indie Phantom, Marvel will choke this year if FF is their tentpole. I think it is. Who directs FF? It's not Mangold, I don't think. Who is it? Oh, it's Shackman. Matt Shackman. Matt directed WandaVision, Game of Thrones. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So, The Boys. Wow, he directed a lot of episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That would be great if he directed the movie like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I would love that. Like the Fantastic Four is just terrible. Ardent, Jesse, I haven't enjoyed any since Endgame except the Spider-Verse ones, which were okay. Indie Phantom, how did they not bring back Evans? I hate him, but he was a big name. I don't think Evans wants to do it. He made it very clear he doesn't want to do it. So that's usually code for they won't give me enough money, or he literally doesn't want to do it. I suspect he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to be... His politics is so counter Captain America. I think he literally just doesn't want to do it. And he's rich, so maybe he doesn't need it. Ardent, remember Gotham? The Batman series without Batman? I'd like to forget that. Ardent, I think Marvel forgot that Steve Rogers was still alive at the end of Endgame. No, what they could do is recast him. Bring him back. Bring back, a guy dressed, as old Steve Rogers, right? They could put enough makeup on him so he looked like Chris Evans in that makeup. And then he goes through a process of de-aging, and then it's some other young actor who kind of looks like Chris Evans. It would work. Jesse, oof, Ardent. It's one I'd watch. If it's one I'd watch, it would be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Oh, yeah, that I hear is okay. Ardent's link is there. Indie Phantom is happy. Indie Phantom, AOC was a promising bartender. Ardent, Jesse, don't waste your time with it. Honestly, cherish your lovely memories. Jesse, I hate that I was born too late to enjoy the early 2000s. I hate that I had to see my favorite stories die, like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Halo, and RWBY. Well, it's kind of inevitable, Jesse, I think, because Hollywood is going to squeeze all the money out until it's gone. So... unfortunately, they don't know when to end it. it's really only guys like, so like Zemeckis signed a deal for Back to the Future when they did the 3 movies that they would not remake it. Now, so far they've held to that. I think they've probably come to him multiple times saying, please let us remake Back to the Future. You could do it and we'll pay you. And he said no. But because he put that in his contract, I don't think they can get out of it. At least until he dies. I think if Zemeckis dies, then yeah, maybe they could. I don't know. But we'll see. Someday, maybe. LeMay. So a John Ossoff. Indie Phantom. Woke director. Ardent. LOL. Just wait. They're going to ruin Buffy the Vampire Slayer next. Ardent. XL. Indie. Curious to see where Bond goes next. I didn't much like the Craig era, but it could get hella worse, or they will smartly bring it back to its roots. Doesn't sound like they're intended to. It sounds like the entire broccoli outfit is woke. That's what I read. They sound super woke. But then there's like a handful of people who are like, don't you want to make money? But I think the longer they stay off screen with Bond, the more likely it is we'll get Bond back the way he should be. So give it another year. Hopefully then maybe they'll finally come to their senses and say, oh yeah, we'll put back big booby women and drinking and shooting dudes in the face, and it'll all be good. LeMay, never mind, they won't accept John because of his heritage. Indie Phantom, I would take campy fun Bond over that dour mess where the only solution was to off him and then say he is returning. Jesse, Ruby was an indie project from a team in Austin. The creator and lead animator died, and the show went crazy woke with bad writing. Oh, it's a shame. The creator was really talented. Oh, that's a shame. Indie Phantom. Oh yeah, Ardent. They can't wait to ruin Buffy. Buffy was kind of woke to begin with, and the origins of Buffy are pretty stupid, but I'm not a huge Buffy fan. So that's more your guys' era. I remember Buffy when Paul Reubens was in it, and what's the name? That other blonde chick, Swanson was her last name. But whatever. Indie Phantom. Anyone watch Angel series? I never did, but has charisma, Carpenter, and a noir scent. I think I caught a episode or 2 of that. It was all right. Wasn't super enamored with it. I gotta say, Josh Whedon was the guy who really drove Buffy. And, and he was the guy who was on the first Avengers, too. But he's kind of out of the mix now. So, I don't know. These guys, they ruin their own creations. But getting back to it, is there any more headlines here? Nope, we're done with that. We're going to Variety now. Dogman beats Heart's Eyes and Love Hurts. Okay, so Dogman did get to the top of the box office today. And that's probably, let's see if it's on here. The exact numbers. Oh, come on. There we go. Dogman is expected to top the competition despite projecting a sizable drop in its sophomore outing. After coming in above projections with its $36 million debut, the crime caper earned $3.2 million in second Friday and is now forecasting a 62% fall over the 3-day frame. Super Bowl is one of the calendar's least busy times for moviegoing. A well-liked, family-friendly picture like Dogman isn't impervious to the biggest television event of the year. Total domestic gross should pass $54 million through the first 10 days of the film, still well-positioned considering its modest $40 million production budget. So, yeah. Indie Phantom. Buffy was woke for sure, but I watched most of it. I got stuck. Here's your behind the scenes convention story for you. So I'm at this event, and the guy across from me, this is a comic book convention, or I don't know, maybe it was a fantasy convention, something like that. And I got my table, and the guy across from me is selling CDs, particularly CDs of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and other shows, but he likes Buffy a lot. So he's playing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he decides he's going to play the episode where it was a musical and the entire cast sing a song, and he played that effing thing all day. He played it until I was audibly complaining in the middle of the show, which is something I never do, but it was so bad and so loud. I asked him to turn it off, and he basically sort of went, well, how about I play something else for a while? And he played some other horrible music, but it was bad. It was bad. It went on, and none of the cast members can sing, in my view. So, no thank you. Ardent, Indie Phantom, LOL. I did watch Angel for Marsters. He's the voice of the Dresden's File audiobooks these days. Indie Phantom Swanson is anti-woke. Oh. Ardent, Christy Swanson was the Buffy in the movie, but they're bringing Sarah Michelle Gellar back for this one. Is Dogman the animated one in the middle there? Yes. Indie Phantom Swanson is an outspoken conservative. Oh. Gellar, not so much. Indie Phantom, who is the halftime show? Is it Lamar? Hedrick Lamar? Is that his name? I think it was someone I never heard of. He's like a rapper, and they're touting it as, oh, he's the first solo rapper. Yeah, we can't hear enough rap these days. Ardent, ugh, the musical episode was okay once or twice. No, it's never okay. LeMay, I was too young to watch Buffy. Lucky you. Indie Phantom, oh yeah, the musical episode. Haha. So did he have a soundtrack table? No, he was just selling the DVDs of the episodes. I forget if it was bootleg or not. I don't think it was. Zebek's Demise. Hedley Lamar? No, Kendrick Lamar, says Ardent. Jesse, I don't like rap. Really? In Trinidad? What's the music down there? Ardent, at Zebek's Demise, LOL. Yeah, so Dogman is numero uno, which I kind of suspected. What else was going on? Cynthia Cynthia Erivo denies speaking with Academy about performing Wicked songs at the Oscars. I don't know why we would be doing that. You don't know why you would be performing a song from your movie nominated for an Oscar at the Oscars. Huh? Yeah, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Why would that happen? Hey, what are you people weird? Next, of course, we got to make more room for Amelia Perez and a retrospective of her songs. Kanye West has a surprise arrival at the Grammys. Why is this on the? Oh, it's the most popular headlines of the week. Ardent, reggae in Trinidad, maybe calypso. Any English folk? I don't know. What do they listen to in Trinidad? We are learning things today. Trump doubles down on CBS lawsuit. Now seeks $20 billion in damages. Oh, man. It's funny because he doesn't need the money. Ardent, English folk music, I mean. Indie Phantom. Has she never freaking seen the Oscars? Apparently not. Jesse says reggae, calypso, soca, and chutney. Yeah, I guess you guys would be near the source of reggae. And I guess you guys probably have some reggae guys in Trinidad, too. Oh yeah, there are guys. There are reggae guys in Trinidad, right? I was in a reggae music video, by the way. They shot it at my house. Ardent, Soca? I should have remembered that. Indie Phantom, Ryan Gosling should sing the songs from Amelia Perez. I hope they sing Amelia. I hope they sing that stupid song from Amelia Perez. We're going to do a sex change, penis to vagina. I mean, it's so bad. It's so bad. You got to see that clip if you haven't. Ardent, I had a buddy from St. Vincent that loves soca. Indie Phantom, what's the top TV show in Trinidad? Jesse, rap as well because I mean it's rap. I prefer country music. I got the American influence in me. Okay. Try some Johnny Cash. That's always my go-to for country music. That's amazing though. Trump wants to double his lawsuit. Or I guess he just did. I don't think he wants to settle this thing. So maybe he's trying to wreck Paramount's deal, which is no bueno for me and my 2 shares of Paramount, but still pretty funny. Let's see. Ardent, Jesse, country is pretty universal. Jesse, see, look, guys, this chat is the diversity the libs want. I guess not the part with the one Indian guy, me, being conservative. Indie Phantom, penis to vagina is my ringtone. Penis to vagina, penis to vagina. Oh, excuse me, I gotta get this. Why do I keep hearing someone sing penis to vagina? I'm sorry, it's my ringtone. My phone is ringing across the room. I gotta go get it. Ardent, Jesse, LOL, nah, the diversity they want is skin tone, not thinking. LeMay, I showed that part to my mom and she got mad at me. Asked me where do I find this trash. Zebek's demise. I have no idea what chutney music is. Jesse, I have no idea what the top show is. My dad has Netflix. I just live off of YT. Yeah, that's what I do now. Ardent, at Zebek's demise. I had to look it up. FCC's 60 Minutes probe is a threat to journalism, Commissioner says. FCC's 60 Minutes probe is threat to journalism, Commissioner says. That's weird. Ardent, LOL, my ringtone is Bad MFer by Biting Elbows, a Russian punk group. Indie Phantom, the Asian guy singing penis to vagina is peak 2024 cinema, in my opinion. It really is. I mean, it's like he's not even a singer. It's just like, what am I doing? I have to sing that? Okay, that's what I'll do. And you know, some actors, they'll just do anything, which is fine if they got a good script. But if they have Amelia Perez, well, Zebek's demise. I'll look it up after the show. Indie Phantom, a whack woke plastic surgeon, LOL. Jesse, Ardent is universal, but country music from the U.S. like Cash, Willie Nelson from Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, call John Edmond. He used to be in their defense force. Chutney music is a fusion genre of Indian folk music, specifically, I'm going to mispronounce this, Bhojpuri folk music with Caribbean calypso and soca music, and later with Bollywood music. Oh, wow. Interesting. I don't know if I'd have the ear for that to pick out all those influences listening to a song like that, because I don't listen to a lot of calypso or music like that. I have heard some Bollywood soundtracks. I liked RRR, and there was some songs in that, and I've heard some of the other ones from the other Bollywood stuff I've seen. But interesting. Ardent at Jesse. I'll have to check him out. Didn't know there was a Zim Rhodesia country scene. Indie Phantom. Yeah, the clips from Amelia is just like they're saying the dialogue set to music. And it's bad dialogue, in my opinion. Zevek's Demise. Oh, okay. Honora wins Best Picture at Critics' Choice Awards. Well, there you go. I thought Honora was pretty good. So maybe that's... maybe they'll just, the Oscars will say, oh, let's just give it to Honora and pretend like Amelia Perez didn't show up. That could save them. Honora's a pretty good movie. So, The Substance wasn't bad either. I kind of enjoyed that. I don't think it should win best, maybe best effects or makeup or something, but beyond that, I didn't think it was that good, but it was pretty good. Demi Moore is pretty good in it. Oscars considering requiring films to disclose AI use after the brutalist Amelia Perez controversies. I didn't know there was an AI controversies in Amelia Perez. I think I heard about the brutalist one, and now there's one in the FF. So that should probably be a standard operating procedure. Indie Phantom. Penis to Vagina Calypso Remix. Ardent, LOL, that's just wrong at Indie Phantom. Jesse, John Edmund had some nice songs like Troopy Boy, You Won, Green Leader, and I Wish I Was a Blue Job. Indie Phantom, Honora also won a Cannes too, so has a shot. That would be good. That would be acceptable, I think. That would give them some credibility back. You know? They could just save the nominees for movies they have to pretend to like. That could be a shift back in the right direction, but we'll see. Indie Phantom, The Substance, I think more of Margaret Qualley. She was okay in it. I mean, not great, but okay. Let's see. What else? Season 2 of Shogun is shooting this fall. I heard that was really good, but I didn't see it. Seal is a literal seal in Taika Waititi's Mountain Dew Super Bowl commercial. So Taika Waititi's down to shooting Super Bowl commercials now. Seems appropriate. Indie Phantom. Honora Chick was the killer in The Last T. Scream. Scram. Scream. Interesting. I could see her. She's got a bit of an edge to her. She is so naked in Honora too. There's nudity all over that. She is naked for a lot of that movie. And it is quality nudity, I'm going to tell you right now. It's quality stuff. Enjoy it, because I don't think you're going to see it after she wins this Oscar. Because after that, it's going to be closed for business. But I like her because she's the one who said, the intimacy coordinators don't really add anything. So, and she was quite liberal with her nudity in that movie. Didn't shy away from it for a second. All right, looking at Bounding into Comics. Former X-Men showrunner Bo DeMeo, this guy's still going on, claims Disney fired him for raising concerns about egregious prejudicial conduct from Marvel Studios. Things I witnessed while working at Marvel were beyond wrong and unethical. Okay. I want to believe he's genuine in this, but it just feels like he's going after them because he got fired. But, all right. Let's see what you got, dude. Expose him. I'm all for seeing Disney go to pieces, so. Set decorator claims Batgirl literally completely finished and hopes the full film leaks one day. Well, we know it was completely finished. It was completely finished. That wasn't the issue at all. The issue was that they don't want to release it because it was so bad. Jesse, I was an iPad kid, so I don't relate with Trinidad, hence why I listen to more American media, not modern stuff like Cardi. Also, I have to apologize, but Nicki Minaj is from Trinidad. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, who cares about this Batgirl movie now? Jeez. I get it. All the actors defend the movie, but they're gonna defend the movie. They're gonna defend it. This isn't even the Batgirl, is it? Batgirl Dina Meyer is all apologies in Birds of Prey season 1. This isn't the Batgirl they used, right? There was the other Batgirl was in it, like the black Batgirl, right? Indie Phantom. She is hot and based on her Criterion Closet vid. She has some pervy taste in movies. Well, she liked actors with no inhibitions. What else we got here? Captain America Brave New World director confirms WWE champ Seth Rollins cut from Marvel film to make way for Giancarlo Esposito. When Giancarlo became available, it was such a no-brainer. Well, it sucks for him, but I mean, that definitely upped the movie some degree, but I don't know, man. He's just Giancarlo Esposito. Look at him. He doesn't have a superhero costume on. JC is here. Hi, hi, hi. He just looks like Giancarlo Esposito. Oh, he's Sidewinder. Okay, so he is. So I guess they are going with the Serpent Society, but not going to give him a costume, a cool snake emblem or something? All right. He is a better actor, though. I mean, he's a pretty good actor. Oh, here's a companion review. Jack Quaid makes a deadly friend in Sophie Thatcher. Okay. January was disappointing. There's one movie people are talking about, or they want everyone to, and giving high marks. Doesn't mean a companion's very good. Just means that it's tiptoeing over a very low bar with some bare minimum competition, making no effort. Okay. JC, Seth isn't a good actor. Giancarlo looks old as S in the trailer. Yeah. Indie Phantom, Esposito is overexposed like Pedro now. Yeah. Let's see. What is this? Oh, okay. It is a robot. The companion is a robot. Iris isn't human. And like Pinocchio or Swamp Thing, she wants to be. Sadly, she is a robot. Yes, programmed to feel, think, and behave exactly like a person would, but Iris is artificial nonetheless. This isn't a problem for Josh or anyone involved. That is until the killings start. Okay. It's weird. Makes sense, though. It makes the trailer make a lot more sense. I thought it was about some fetish thing. Indie Phantom Deadly Friend Robot was played by Christy Swanson. It's a Christy Swanson theme today. Ardent movie pitch inspired by Indie Phantom saying scram by accident. Sydney Sweeney in a bikini with her hair dyed red is a young Batgirl cosplayer who turns into a crime fighting in revenge for her dog. A toy poodle named Archie is frightened by the local tough guys, martial arts, and tight latex costumes. That's pretty good. And you're calling it Scram? Like Scram. Get the hell out of here. That actually is not a bad title for a movie. Scram. I kind of like it. Indie Phantom. Scram is a good title, actually. Yes. Great minds. Scram. Rated R. For adult situations. Captain America Brave New World star Anthony Mackie unintentionally torpedoes Hollywood's representation arguments, says his younger self looked up to Superman's character despite differences in skin color. Obviously, that can't work, Anthony, because we have to have representation. So, he is just not doing what Hollywood wants, it seems. Seems like he's stepping in it every chance he gets now. Ardent, Scram sounds like a good period piece, mid-50s. Ah, Scram, see? We gotta get out of here. Wow, we should scram. Scram. Rated PG. Let's see. Bachelorette to skip summer of 2025. Well, great. There goes my summer. I don't know about you. Who the F cares? Ardent, Mackie, just shut up. Exactly. Indie Phantom, LOL, Mackie. Yeah. AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards. A Complete Unknown wins Best Picture. Oh, here's what all the old people are watching. So let's look at that. Jesse, oh man, the 50s were cool. I love American fighter jets from then, like the F-100. I didn't know there was an F-100. All right, so here are the winners of the Movies for Grown-Up Awards for the WAARP. And when you're 50, you'll get that letter in the mail like I did. So here we go. Ardent, I'm an avid A10 Warthog fan, Jesse. Indie Phantom, Bachelorette, looks hot though. She does. All right, Best Picture, Movie for Grown-Ups, A Complete Unknown was the winner. Amelia Perez was nominated. Best Actress, Demi Moore, The Substance. Other nominations were Pamela Anderson, Nicole Kidman. Best Actor, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Indie Phantom, or Jesse, I love the Mitsubishi F1T2. Best Supporting Actress, Joan Chen from Dee Dee. Wasn't that an animated thing? Indie Phantom, I can't deal with Chalamet Twinkus. Best Supporting Actor, Peter Skarsgård in September 5th. Weird. Best Director, Jacques Alenard, Amelia Perez, there you go. Because directing Penis to Vagina is a thing. Jesse, I don't even know most of the famous people here. Well, Stanley Tucci, Denzel Washington, they're pretty famous. Peter Skarsgård is relatively new. Best Screenwriter, Winnie Holzman and Dana Fox for Wicked. Oh, come on. Best Ensemble, Sing Sing was the winner. Best Actress on TV, Jodie Foster for True Detective Night Country. Okay. Best Actor, John Hamm in Fargo. Kind of not surprised at that one. Best TV Series or Limited Series, Shogun. Definitely not surprised at that. That I hear deserved it. I don't know why Hacks is on here. That looks terrible. Best Intergenerational Film, Thelma is the winner. Best Time Capsule, A Complete Unknown. Best Documentary, Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story. And that's it. Oh, there you go. Will and Harper got nominated, Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell was complaining about that. Indie Phantom for grown-ups. WTF. Yeah, this is AARP. You have to be an old person to be in the AARP club. You get like discounts on insurance and stuff, I think. What else? Forget psychedelics. Everyone's microdosing Ozempic now? That doesn't sound healthy. Indie Phantom. September 5th, Skarsgård is good, but he has done that role 1,000 times. He is not new. Was in Boys Don't Cry and lots of stuff in the 90s. Bob the Drag Queen. Oh, you know Bob the Drag Queen. I mean, who's more famous than Bob the Drag Queen to be mentioned in Hollywood Reporter? Bob the Drag Queen has an ideal ending for The Traitors. I want Daniel Reyes to win by herself. I don't even know what you're talking about. Ardent, there's a doc about Reeve. Might have to check that out. Also, Canadians get calls from fish when we get old. CARP. Ardent. Nice one. Didn't see that coming. Let's see. I think that's about it. There's Bob the Drag Queen, I guess. Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman to appear at Con for LA Wildfires Recovery. So I think that was organized by Kevin Smith. I'm not sure. JC, is Bob the Drag Queen related to Bob the Builder? Should I bring my kid? Jesse says, ha! Oh, here's something that dropped this week. Magic the Gathering film TV universe in the works from Hasbro and Legendary. I cannot imagine this being good under any circumstances, but Indie Phantom, Bob the Drag Queen can sing Penis to Vagina at the Oscars. Yes, there you go. In a wheelchair. Because otherwise, you're a bigot. Yeah, Magic the Gathering, I said this before when I read this story. Jesse, no! Magic the Gathering's universe never really came together for me, at least when I was, and I played the game for a long time, but they tried to put out comics. No one bought the comics for anything other than the cards. And this is back when I was running a comic book store. The comics were only hot because they'd put an exclusive card in, and people would come running to the comic book store. You got the comic, and they would rip open the comic to get the card and throw the comic away. Ardent, LOL, what? From Magic the Gathering. Now, over the years, they tried to develop some godlike characters that they added to the game, but it's not much of a story. And the whole game's gone woke because they wokeified the Lord of the Rings cards. They race swapped a bunch of the characters. So I can't see this other than being a complete and utter disaster that people will watch and go, huh? What is this? Like, the card players don't watch TV. That's like the one thing they don't do. They want to play cards. They love cards. They're card junkies. They go to events. They go to tournaments. Unless you're given an exclusive card for watching this show, I sincerely doubt you're going to pull in much of an audience. But okay. Zevek's Demise. There's a universe? Yeah, exactly. There is. Ardent, well, disjointed lore. Yeah. Zevek's Demise. I never played the game. Oh, initially it was a really fun game. JC, a sale is a sale is a sale. Zevek's Demise. I played a lot of games, not that one. Indie Phantom. Magic the Gathering featuring Jack Black. Dear Lord, no. Jesse, good God, no. I said it a long time ago. Variety and the Hollywood Reporter will make you believe there is no God. JEC, the card players don't watch TV or shower. Those two things. Hey, it doesn't smell that bad in the room. It's, a lot of Doritos and Mountain Dew digesting, so there's gonna be farts. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could. Here's the one situation where it could be good. I'll say it. So when they did Pirates of the Caribbean, right, and that's based on a Disney ride, there was no lore, and they wrote a good screenplay, at least for the first one, and they put Johnny Depp as the title character, and it worked out good. Now they could do something similar here. Maybe they'll completely ignore the lore, they'll just use the names, and they'll just write a halfway decent movie. It's possible. JC, I played a lot of games, usually with people's hearts, not Magic though. I recommend Magic. It's fun. They unfortunately now the game got to the point where there's too many cards and there's too much. It's all become sort of a money making operation. Unfortunately, they kind of passed into the same realm that Dungeons and Dragons did after a while. After a while, and I heard this from people who worked in the industry, TSR had sold Dungeons and Dragons to just about everybody who would buy it. The problem was selling them the game again because they couldn't sell enough material. Because when you play Dungeons and Dragons, if you're creative, you don't really need anything beyond the rule books and the dice. So it was hard to sell them new materials. So what they would do is they would reissue the game or issue new worlds and box sets, and they try to make more money off the same game. Magic the Gathering had the same problem. Like, once you had thousands of cards, why would you buy new cards? The only reason would be is if you ban the old cards, put in new cards with new strategies and new powers, and let it get bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually it got, I mean, to me it got too complicated. I liked just playing the card game and having fun, and it was about fun in the early days, and then I think it became more about money in the latter days. I think the way they could have kept Magic the Gathering going was what they did do, which was option Lord of the Rings. They could have optioned other fantasy characters, but they went woke, so that didn't help them. Everybody got mad at that, I think. Ardent. I was a nerd in the 80s and 90s, and even I looked at the MTG guys as kind of funny. Card junkies. Give me my cards, man. They were worth a ridiculous amount of money in the early days. We had the very early sets were so hot. So hot. This dude bought a case of cards very early on in the game. I think the set was called Legends. This was maybe the fourth or fifth set that came out of the Magic cards. So they sold Legends. He bought a case, which at that time was unheard of. He opened every card, and he sold them at college, where they were playing the game like crazy, for $1 a piece. Each individual card was $1. He sold every single card, and for that $60 case, he sold 3,600 cards. So, not a bad profit margin, if you ask me. I personally made money for my friends selling cards, their old cards. I made my one friend $1,000 just on about a handful of cards like that were hot at the time. I made like a couple $100 myself. Zevek's Demise. We got good Keith Richards lore from those movies. Jesse, I used to collect fake Pokemon cards because third world problems. Well, I'll tell you the scam, and I heard this from card guys at the time. What you would do is you would play with a proxy card. So if you had a hot Magic card after the game had been out for a while, there were a few cards that were worth hundreds of dollars, and you didn't want to actually put them in your deck because as you played with them, they got worn. So what you would do is you'd put it in a screw down case and then play with a proxy card, and you would say, this represents my my fancy card here, and you would put the fancy card on the table to prove that you owned it, and you would play with the proxy card. Well, when people started doing that, what the guys used to do who faked cards, they would take a card that was super expensive, like they had lotuses and they were called moxes. So if you had a mox, it was worth like say $200. So they'd take that $200 card, scan it in on a computer, make a bunch of copies of it in the computer, and then print it out in a laser printer on sticker stock. And then you would cut it out, and then you take a worthless card and then carefully place the sticker on top of the worthless card so it was nice and smooth. And then you would take that fake card and you would put it in a screw down case, because nobody would ever play with it because they didn't want to ruin the card. They would never open the case. So you would never be caught, and you would sell it at a discount. So if the card was worth $200, you'd run around and go, hey, I got these hot cards. They're $80 a piece. I'll give you a discount if you want to buy one. And then you'd make 10 cards. You'd sell them all like that because they're supposedly worth $200, but they're fake. You don't know that. And boom, you make $800 just going to a card tournament. And people were doing that all over the place. And they didn't just do it with Magic cards. They did it with sports cards. They did what other cards do. Pokemon cards. Zebek's Demise. I used to play old school Car Wars games like that from the 80s. Oh, I remember Car Wars. Indie Phantom. Any articles on the Super Bowl movie trailers? Usually some biggies. I don't know. So far, no. But we'll soldier on. Nick Cage's Spider-Noir TV show is coming out. So there's that. Indie Phantom. I have played poker. Yeah, I've played poker too. Ardent. LOL scratch his neck. Y'all get any more of those booster packs? Yeah, exactly. Zebek's Demise. I get forced to play poker at work from time to time. I work for a company that makes poker tables. Oh, boo-hoo. Forced into playing poker, huh? Ardent. I prefer backgammon, chess, and card games these days. And Skyrim, of course. Me and my girlfriend play a lot of 500 Rummy. I showed her how to play Gin Rummy, but she prefers the 500 Rummy. Indie Phantom. Zebek. Do you guys sell most to casinos, or do people buy tables for their rec rooms? Ardent. One of my friends was clearing out an apartment about a decade ago and thought he had found a Black Lotus. It got humidified and the fake front peeled. Oh, Jesse, a real pack of cards is about $40. Oh, yeah, because you probably got to import it. Yeah, the importation. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything. I don't think there's anything about movie trailers on the Super Bowl. Let's see. Ben Affleck and Gillian Anderson to star in Affleck-directed Netflix thriller. Matt Damon was going to star in this, but then he got a different role, and so Affleck stepped in. Zebek's Demise at Ardent. We make tables mostly for the home market, but sometimes we do work for the casinos. Neat. Watch. New trailer for Ryan Coogler's supernatural vampire thriller, Sinners. That movie looks kind of cool. That could be good. I don't know. I haven't liked really any Ryan Coogler's movies all that much. Except maybe that... Did he direct that one? No, that was Jordan Peele. Yeah, I don't know, man. But Michael Jordan is good, so maybe he can make that work. I don't know. JC, my boomer relatives always try to rope me into playing cribbage. I played cribbage a couple of times. I'm pretty much up for any game. In my family, we play games all the time. We're big on card games. That's sort of the go-to sort of thing. We'll play Rummy or Gin Rummy at the drop of a hat. But every Christmas, we'll get games for Christmas, and we'll figure out how to play them, and then we'll play them and drive each other nuts and trash talk each other. It's a lot of fun. we play online a game called Terraforming Mars, which is a card game, and it's a board game. If you haven't played Terraforming Mars, it's freaking fantastic. If you want a really complex game, check out Terraforming Mars. But it's best played with more than one person. You can play a solo version of the game. It's not as fun. It's best with at least 3 people. Zebek's Demise. I like Crib. Also, recently I got into a game called, it's a dominoes game called Mexican Train, which is pretty good. Ardent. Cards Against Humanity is fun with a good crowd. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I've played that. What else? Trump made himself the Kennedy Center chair. If you didn't hear that story, I laughed. I laughed hard enough that I had to go take a pee. I mean, that is one of the funniest things ever, that he made himself the chair of the Kennedy Center. These are the people who do the Kennedy Center honors and stuff. So he's trying to de-wokeify the Kennedy Center. Good luck. We'll see what happens. I mean, it is getting taxpayer money, I assume, so he should. Jesse, my social life is so bad. How bad is it? I can't remember how to play Go Fish. Trinidad has a game called All Fours, which I think is a local game, a local name for the game. All Fours. Have to check that out. Zebek's Demise. There's a game called Crib Wars. That's kind of fun. Ardent. There's an online game called Rift Tracks that's loads of fun. Well, I highly recommend Terraforming Mars. It's produced by a game in Europe, or a game company in Europe. If you buy the actual game, but that's, now that they have an online version, it's easier to do the online thing. Indie Phantom. Trump is taking no prisoners. I just laughed. It's the funniest thing ever. David Lynch, cause of death revealed. He died of cardiac arrest with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Yeah, he was a lifetime smoker. Don't smoke, kids. It's a shame. Okay, Fox enlists the biggest stars and Kendrick Lamar to promote network's lineup at Super Bowl. I know that one of the commercials at the Super Bowl is Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan doing their Harry Met Sally bit. So there's that. I mean, reality star Gordon Ramsay will be cooking on Bourbon Street for a Sunday pregame show, which will feature Rob Lowe and a host of a Super Bowl lead-out show called The Floor. John Hamm, star of animated series Grimmsburg, that must be new, will be announcing players from his home state team, the Kansas City Chiefs, as they come out of the tunnel. Also at the game will be the Masked Singer host Nick Cannon and Animal Control star Joel McHale. Okay. Indie Phantom. Rift Tracks like the commentaries? Ardent. He was a chain smoker in real life. Oh God, I saw a sneak peek of that Harry Sally thing and immediately clicked away. Zebek's Demise. Harry Met Sally. Wasn't that like 30 years ago? Yes. JC. A Harry Met Sally parody 40. A Harry Met Sally parody 40 years after anyone thought about that movie. How fresh. Ardent 40. Oh, it's 40. Indie Phantom. Meg Ryan and Billy have seen better days. Yes. Yes. I don't get it either, but I guess there will be some people my age and above watching the game, so I guess they're appealing to the game. Ardent at Indie Phantom. Yeah, kind of like a crowd participation Mystery Science Theater 3000. Oh. Indie Phantom. Too much plastic. I agree. Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance he'll be singing or something set to the song Squabble Up, which I have no idea what that is. No idea what that is. So that's the Super Bowl. RFK Sr. inspired Glinda's arc in Wicked for good. Producer Mark Platt explains at PGA breakfast. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. JC, David Lynch going out the same time Hollywood burning to the ground is a fitting way for him to go. Ardent, best Billy Crystal was Miracle Max in Princess Bride. He was pretty funny in that. Wicked's initial cut was close to 4 hours long, editing team says. Contenders film, the nominees. 4 hours? You people are nuts. That's 2 movies. Abbott Elementary and It's Always Sunny stars support Eagles in NOLA for Super Bowl 59. Not surprised. So they're also doing a crossover with those 2 shows. I've never seen Abbott Elementary, but I do love It's Always Sunny. I haven't seen it in a few years, though. I strongly suspect it went a little woke. It kind of went woke, even when I was still watching it. Kind of disappointed me. All right. Moving on to Cosmic Book News. James Gunn invites you to the Superman Puppy Bowl, not the Super Bowl. So I think Superman's going to be at the Super Bowl. It sounds like, at least his commercial. JC, Glinda went after the mob and then they shot her, didn't you know? Ardent, 2 terrible movies. Zebek's Demise. If anyone asks you to watch the director's cut of Wicked, just run. Ardent at JEC. I heard it was the CIA and Dorothy was a patsy. PSN down for hours. PlayStation, PS5, and PS4 affected. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Do you know what that'll do to gamers? That means that the only thing they'll have to do is smoke their bongs and eat their Doritos for the next few hours. Indie Phantom, woke in 2025. Read the room, Hollywood. Skeleton Crew. Mrs. Nielsen's rating charts again with episode 7. Star Wars continuing its slide. Oh, this was this week. If you didn't see my trailer analysis, Rihanna is the voice of Smurfette in the Smurfs movie that's coming out. And it looks like it's mostly Rihanna. Like the whole movie looks to be centered around Smurfette. John Goodman's a voice. And Nick Offerman's a voice. And I don't know. I never thought the Smurfs were good to begin with, but yet another IP is transformed for modern times. Ardent. Oh no, not the PlayStation knobs. Zevek's Demise. Good thing I only have PS2 and PS3. Indie Phantom. Yeah, I stopped at PS3. Ardent, LOL, I ditched my Xbox finally for a PC last year. Best choice I've made in gaming since trying to shoot the dog in Duck Hunt. JC, at Ardent, Trump declassified it all. We should be finally getting some answers soon. If you're interested in seeing Henry Cavill do his James Bond screen test, you could check it out and imagine what might have been. I didn't think it was bad. I mean, the sound's all off. But it was fine. You know, he's doing James Bond. Indie Phantom. That is smurfed up. Yeah. Yeah, Rihanna. I don't know. It's like, you're going to cast Rihanna as Smurfette. Zevek's Demise at Arden. I got a PC in 2020 when I figured I was going to be at home a lot. So Rihanna, like, isn't that young. So to hire her, she's very famous. She's a singer. Why would you hire her, paying all that money for her to do a voice, when she's not really going to bring any audience to the movie? Is she? Like, I can't imagine Rihanna fans saying, "Oh, I'm going to go see the Smurf movie." Like, they're too old for that. I mean, Rihanna isn't as, risque as some of the other singers, but I don't see why that and Smurfs go together at all. Doesn't make any sense. Just seems like you're spending a lot of money to get a famous name that the audience won't even care about. Indie Phantom, his screen test was kind of blah. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't watch the whole thing, but JC, I mean, if the Smurf movie is a musical casting, her might work. I mean, she is singing, but like you can get. I mean, women who could sing in Hollywood are a dime a dozen, and you don't have to worry about what they look like because it's a voice acting gig. Ardent, Rihanna, Battleship, just saying. Jesse, I miss actually voice actors. JC, then release a song as a single. Maybe it'll be a hit. Maybe get some Best Original Song nominations. I guess. I don't know. It just seems like a weird mix. Like if you were going to cast Smurfette, wouldn't you cast somebody younger who has a real young audience? Like, I don't know, Billie Eilish, or what is her name? Sabrina Carpenter or Charlie XCX? Don't those girls have way younger audiences? JC, you should get a relative unknown to be James Bond, at least a television star, not a movie star. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody young, and again, put it back in the Cold War and leave it there. Ardent, I just got a pop-up as for Visit Orlando. YouTube is taunting me. JC, Charlie XCX is in her 40s, LOL. I don't know. I don't know current music. I'm sure it's somebody I have no idea, never heard of. Somebody was at the Grammys that, one of those people I didn't know. Jesse, wait a minute. Why are they making another Smurfs movie? He just realized. Indie Phantom, Sydney Sweeney as stacked Smurfette. Ardent, because they're out of ideas and afraid to try new stuff, Jesse. Yeah, basically. Over at The Wrap. More of the same. Denzel Washington says he's been around too long to care about Gladiator 2 Oscar snub. I don't think that was in the mix, but whatever. Candace Cameron Burr gives update on Dave Collier's cancer treatment. Dave Collier from Full House has cancer, if anybody remembers that dude. It's a shame. He's in rough shape. Ardent at Indie Phantom. No, paint her green and make her the new Orion slave girl in Trek. Oh, here it is. That Park Place. So X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMeo claims Marvel stopped him from involving Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld in his series. Okay, maybe. JC, 13.7 million number one? Yikes. Wait. Oops. Hit the wrong thing. Go back here. Number one with 13.7 million. Yeah. Yep. Should be. You missed the beginning of the show. Jesse, man, I feel like I can think of a better story than Hollywood. You can. Anyone can. Go outside, run into the first person you see, ask them for an idea. It'll be pretty good. Better than anything I've talked about on this podcast. Indie Phantom. Anyone see Gladiator 2? Can't remember. Daredevil Born Again trailer outperforms Agatha All Along and Echo trailers, and it's not even close. I believe that. The Last of Us live-action show changes Abby's physique while Neil Druckmann claims we pander to no one. Show could continue to pass season 2 despite lack of source material. Okay. Who cares about this show, The Last of Us? Ardent at Jesse. I suspect some of the pitch ideas we have suggested in Tony's streams have been better. Most even. That is true. JC, remember when Uncle Jesse dated a 15-year-old Alanis Morissette, and then she wrote an album about how he psychologically tortured her and sold 20 million copies? Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard dated Alanis Morissette? Alanis Morissette? I didn't know that. Jesse, I have a friend I look up to like a mother. She herself is a writer. She encourages me to write. Oh, that's nice. Ardent, LOL. That was about Stamos? Over at Breitbart. I just wanted to touch on this. Rick Grinnell called out Mayor Bass over in L.A. They have an L.A. fire recovery chief. He's making $500K for 3 months. This is how LA spends your money and then wonders why they're out of money. JC, no Uncle Jesse from Full House. Oh, okay. Wow, that is young. Uncle Jesse from Full House dated Alanis Morissette? I didn't know that. JC, no, the other uncle, which was Creepy Uncle. Ardent, Lamau, Indie Phantom, haha. JC, the uncle from Full House who had the puppet. Jesse, really? Damn, that's wowzers, man. Let's see. Anything on the entertainment thing for Breitbart? Ardent, I don't think of the old fella from Dukes of Hazzard would have been chasing saplings. No, I didn't think so either. That's why I was so shocked. NEA putting patriotism first under Trump admin. Cool. Chrissy Teigen rages at Trump admin for mocking Selena Gomez. I don't even remember Trump even bothering, but... John Nolte, Cosmic Justice comes for Netflix and Carla Sofia Gascon. That's the transgender actor for Amelia Perez. Jesse, some days I feel ashamed about having these people with my name. My nickname is Messy Jesse. Ardent, oof. Kathy Griffin, not prudent for anyone to have babies at all on this planet. Yeah, let's just all die out. That'll show them. That'll show everybody. Yeah, if we all die out, yeah, that ought to show those chuds. Those MAGA chuds will be sorry when humanity dies, won't they? Not me, though. I'll go to the grave smug and as righteous as ever. Ah, yeah, put me in the ground. I killed humanity. That ought to show you. JC, yeah, Jagged Little Pill is about a relationship with Dave Collier. Look it up. Oh, weird. I did not know that. Ardent, worst nickname I ever had was Hemingway, and not just because I like to write. That's a good name. JC, interesting cope, Kathy. How's dying alone going? My nicknames, I've had a lot of nicknames. Scrapple, that was a nickname. Tony Baloney, that was an early nickname, Tony Baloney. Tony D. Antichrist, that was my nickname in college. It was either Tony D. Antichrist or Tony D. is the Antichrist. Scrapple, though, was fun. Ardent, Collier was Uncle Jesse. That was Stamos' character, wasn't it? Or am I getting early dementia? I don't remember the show. I don't even think I read it or watched an episode of Full House. Michael Rappaport, of all people, praises Trump. I like what I'm seeing so far. See, I told you, his personality, he should have been a Trump supporter from the beginning. Ardent, never Tony DiGerolamo? No, sometimes Tony D. Sometimes, another nickname I had was Tony D OMO, which stood for Odd Man Out. Tony D Odd Man Out. That was another nickname. JEC, I can't remember Dave Collier's character now. Jeremy Piven, who was in Entourage, he got his home burglarized and they stole $200,000 worth of jewelry. That's a lot of jewelry for a grown man, I think. It's very expensive. Collier was Uncle Joey, says JEC. Actor Tony Roberts died. I don't know if you remember him. He was in a lot of Woody Allen movies. And I think he was in The Marathon Man, which is one of my favorite movies. I'm almost sure he was in it. Indie Phantom, Full House sucks ass. Say what you really feel. Marathon Man's one of the great movies. If you haven't seen Marathon Man, highly recommend. I'm almost sure Tony Roberts is in it. God, what a great movie this is. Let me see the full cast here. Where the hell's the full cast button? There we go. Roy Scheider, Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier. Got a great cast. No, maybe he's not in it. I'm not seeing his name. I could have sworn he was in it. No, maybe not. But Tony Roberts was in a lot of movies. Let me see if he was. This is the easiest way to see. Let me go down to 1976. No, he wasn't in Marathon Man. I thought he was. I don't know why. But he was in everything. He was in a ton of, what's the name? Woody Allen movies. He was always the sensible one in the Woody Allen movies, I think. Yeah, he was in Annie Hall. There he is in Annie Hall. Stardust Memories. Couple others. Ardent, 200K could have been just half a dozen watches. Jesse, man, now I want to watch the Dukes of Hazzard movie now. You probably don't. Arden at Jesse, I think it's on Tubi if you have access to that site. Indie Phantom, Tony Roberts is also in Popcorn, a campy, fun horror flick. Tony Roberts also in Popcorn. Oh, you wrote it twice. Roberts is in Serpico. Serpico, yes. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. JC, was he Woody Allen's handsome actor friend in Annie Hall? Yeah, I think so. I think that's... I mean, he definitely was in Annie Hall. He was like his friend, yeah. He's always the reasonable one in that dynamic. More on Amelia Perez. Joe Rogan eviscerates USAID spending taxpayer money on weird, shady S. And Bill Maher, Federal Department of Education just takes money, likely part of why students can't read. My ex-boss, Bill Maher, so close to being red-pilled. LeMay, so were you surprised by the cast list? That weird Jaden Smith show? Did I look? I don't remember if I looked at the cast list. Let's look at it right now real quick, and then I got to wrap up. Jaden Smith. There he is. That's Jaden Smith. Look at his hair. He's such a nut. All right. Let's see. Actor. Here he is. What the heck's the name of this thing? Is it this one? This is a cartoon. Intergalactic. Is this it? No, I don't think that's it. It was more something else. I don't think it's listed here. No, I don't see it. He was in Impractical Jokers, the movie? It's weird. JC, he kept calling Woody Allen the wrong name in Annie Hall. Max is a good name for you. LeMay, Neo Yokio. Oh, that's the name of the show? Neo Yukio? Yeah, it's not on here. Let me go back. Oh, there it is. TV series. Here we go. Neo Yokio. All right. Stars. Oh, Jude Law. Wow, there's some big names in this. Jude Law, Jaden Smith, Susan Sarandon, Jason Schwartzman. Wow. John DiMaggio, voice of Bender. Jesus. Steve Buscemi, Ray Wise. A lot of friggin' names. Jamie Foxx, Rashida Jones. Wow. Amanda Stenberg, Stephen Fry, Frank Vincent. Frank Vincent was in one of my movies, I think. Or was he in one version of it that never aired? I forget. But I think I met him. Almost sure I did. That is surprising, LeMay. Ardent. Canada's Global Affairs, our USAID, deleted their public records over the last week. Suspicious. Yeah, it's probably all our money. Jesse, interesting. Surely they didn't have anything to hide. Yeah, no one has anything to hide when they freak out and say, no, you can't come in here and look at our records. Ardent, LOL, you can bet your sweet bippy they did. Yeah. It's funny because all Elon did was say to Trump, let's just ask around, and whoever makes the most noise about not wanting us to audit them, we'll audit them first. And the guys from USAID apparently like piped up first, and Elon's like, there's where we gotta go. You can't mess with the smartest man in the world. You gotta be super careful. He's the smartest man in the world. He is our Tony Stark and Reed Richards combined. Only his superpower is billions and billions and billions of dollars. I mean, he has so much money, it's crazy. Ardent, nah, they were funding climate change education for transgender basket weavers in Ukraine, probably. Yeah. I mean, some of the crazy stuff we were funding was just nuts. I'm particularly pissed off that we spent tens of thousands of dollars on a transgendered comic book in Peru. Like, there's so many things wrong with that, I can't begin to tell you. Number one, that they did a comic book. The most ineffective form of media currently today. They decided to invest tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayers thinking what, I don't know, but it was probably a straight up bribe to some official in Peru. That's just what they wrote on the ledger, I think. And they probably can't say it was a bribe, so they say it's that, hoping no one will question it. LeMay, they can't help themselves, yeah. Ardent, I wish Elon would get the urge to build exoskeleton power armors. I'm sure it's in the works, but there's really no practical use for it, I think. But, JC, yeah, if you think the woke stuff in USA funding, you should see what Trudeau pissed our money away on. I can only imagine. But hopefully you don't have to put up with him much longer. And then maybe you could get some reform. I don't know. After Trump's done being president here, maybe he can come to Canada and be your president for 4 years. I don't know. I mean, would that be legal? Do you guys have a rule against that? JC, 32K USD in Peru goes a long way. Yeah. Yeah. That's not one comic in Peru. That's a lot of transgender comics in Peru. So that, to me, that just screams it was a total bribe to someone. Ardent, LOL, the next guy is going to be worse. I hope not. I'm rooting for you. All right, what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that... it's a good question. What have we learned? Oh, boy. Oh, we've learned that the Oscars are probably going to implode. The Emilia Perez is probably the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Jesse, we have Petrotrin, who made petroleum products, gas and such, but it's closed down. I wish Elon could buy it and start it up again. Was it state-run or was it privately run, I wonder? Ardent, yeah, that's not going to fly, but there is a building separatist Americanization element here. I don't think you could do that without starting a war. Too much money involved. Jesse, we learnt that Trinidad exists. We've learned some stuff about Trinidad. Yes, we have. Thank you for informing us, Jesse. JC, yes, Carney was the central banking pulling Trudeau's strings. Ardent, we learned that an alternate universe, some poor bastard versions of us got dragged to the 4-hour cut of Wicked. Jesse, used to be private and then state took it. There's your problem. The state can run anything into the ground. LeMay at Jesse, and has cool music. Yes, I have to check out what soca is after this. Ardent, gonna listen to some soca before bed. Soca. Yeah, I have to check all that out. So, yeah, gonna wrap it here. I will be going to a Super Bowl party to stuff my face tomorrow. Very excited about that. I am rooting for the Eagles. I will be with the Eagles fans. So, hope they win. Kind of. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's good. I'm not sure what's better. That the Eagles win and everybody's happy. But then I have to go to the parade, which I'm petrified of going to. Or the Eagles don't win and then I don't have to go to the parade, but everybody's pissed off. So I don't know. I don't know what's better for me, but we'll see. Zevek's Demise. It'll be chutney for me. I have to check that out too. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Says good night, says LeMay. Make sure you click a like before you leave. Thank you very much. Ardent. See you in 8 years, says folks. Go Chiefs. 8 years? Ardent. Days. See you in 8 days. Right. What is 8 days? 8 days will be the 16th. So I'll be back on Sunday at 7 next week, and we'll be talking about Captain America 4. JC, either Philly is going to get burnt. Either way, Philly is going to get burnt to the ground. That's what I'm worried about. So yeah, next week I'll be back on Sunday. Looks clear sailing for Sunday at 7. JC, either a happy riot or an angry riot. Yeah, there's not much difference between the two. You got Valentine's Day coming up on Friday. If you're doing something for that. Ardent, Lamau. What else? I got a gig on Monday. I'm doing... where am I going? I'm going to Sunrise. I think it's in Jackson. New Jersey. For my event, How to Hunt the Jersey Devil. That'll be at 3. And then the rest of the week's pretty clear. It's kind of like a 1-2 punch for me. I couldn't book anything for Super Bowl weekend. There's really nothing going on Valentine's Day weekend. I got to wait until next weekend, 2 weeks before there's any like real events that I can attend. Unfortunately, that's the downside of doing the Pineys, since it's a little bit, Halloweeny. Nobody wants to do Halloweeny stuff on certain holidays. Can't really do too much Halloweeny stuff on Christmas or on Valentine's Day, or really Super Bowl weekend. It's just not the weekend for it, and everybody's home. Ardent, American football or Canada hockey or English soccer, the fans are nuts. Well, the Philly fans are particularly nuts. We have a reputation. We threw batteries at Santa Claus one year back in the 70s. This is a legend that is true. Yeah, the Philly fans. There's also the hitchhiking robot. I don't know if you ever heard of hitchhiking robot. They sent this robot to hitchhike around America. Well, it hitchhiked all over the world, and then it got to America, and then it got to Philly, and then someone bashed it to pieces. And they had to go find the body of the hitchhiking robot. Very sad. JC, write a Christmas theme book. I wrote a Christmas story in the Pineys, so that's why I did that. And there's Valentine's. I wrote one for every holiday in the most recent book of the Pineys, book 16. Ardent, 4th of July Piney. Yep, I have a story that takes place on the 4th of July weekend. Yep. There's one for every major holiday, one for every month. Ardent, Hitchbot made it all the way through the world, and he got done in Philly. Yep. It's 100% true. Every comedian I know complains about Philly crowds. Every rock band complains about Philly. The Philly fans. I shouldn't say we, because I'm not in Philly, but the Philly fans are brutal. They really are. I mean, I've gone to shows in Philly, and sometimes it gets out of hand. I've gone to sporting events. Although I will say this, it gets out of hand, but there are not as many fights as in some towns. Like in some towns, it gets out of hand, but it's the fans fighting each other. That almost never happens in the stands in Philly. The fights amongst the fans don't happen. It's the fights. It's stuff like happening on the field. Although Jack Posobiec and his brother went, I think they got into a fight and got arrested. Zebek's Demise, and there are deer in book 16. Actual deer. That's true. That is very true. That is for the August story. See, like each chapter is a month. Each month has a holiday, but there was one month, August, that didn't have a holiday. I had to dig deep for the holiday, and I found one. It's a little obscure, but that one has the deer in it. Ardent, wasn't Philly where Bill Burr went off? Yup. JC, mass holes, they call them. No, those are in Massachusetts. And those guys don't know how to drive. That's their problem. And we have terrible drivers in Philly too, but nothing like people in Boston. Those guys, I've never seen anything like it in Boston. I was driving in Boston one time, icy roads, not great weather, and the guy ahead of me just decided, hey, I don't like this direction, and he just spanked a UB right in the middle of traffic. I'd never seen anything like it since. I mean, people are honking and skidding everywhere. He just turned right around, right in the middle of the road. So yeah. But the Philly fans, we are either going to celebrate the city to death or be very upset when we lose. Ardent, okay, brother, have a good week. Enjoy Friday's Valentine's with the GF and say hi from all of us. I will. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.